What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome back to another WWE News Roundup. Today, we got some interesting stories that have been buzzing around the internet. First up, another wild Vince McMahon rumor that has been making the rounds. But is there any truth to it? We're also going to be diving deep on a massive update regarding Asuka. Her return has been highly anticipated, and we got the latest on her status. This and much, much more on the Roundup. Vinnie Mac. While Vince McMahon initially sold WWE, a rumor has been going around that he's interested in buying the company back. Okay. How'd this start? Well, former WWE commentator Jonathan Coachman shared that he had heard that Vinnie Mac is interested in repurchasing the company, right? And he believes that Vince McMahon wants to return to the company. So let's go down the history books here, right? Because Vince McMahon, alongside Linda, his wife, they bought WWE in 1982. He took over as chairman and CEO and transformed the company into a global powerhouse. However, there's been a lot of drama going on, the Janelle Grant lawsuit, all the accusations. Well, in 2023, Vinnie Mac sold WWE to the Endeavor Group Holdings, which merged the company with the UFC to form TKO. Okay. Now, Vince McMahon has no majority voting power. In fact, he only holds about 4% of TKO stock. Stephanie McMahon and Linda McMahon, they also have ownership stock. The potential for Vinnie Mac to repurchase WWE depends on his ability to secure necessary financing and background. Okay, so he's got to have enough money to buy the freaking company back. WWE was sold to Endeavor for $9.3 billion, okay, which later merged with UFC. And now TKO is valued at $21 billion. Okay, so I don't know why this has to go around, but this rumor is so false it's not even funny. He would have to raise so much money to buy this company back. And why would he? Why would he? Right? He made the decision to sell. I don't see it happening. Can we just put this story to bed once and for all? Asuka, how about your girl? Is she coming back? Well, per Fightful Select, there were creative discussions regarding Asuka at the start of this year and potentially WrestleMania return. But those plans for WrestleMania 41, well, they didn't materialize, obviously, and she's still sidelined. They were told that a return for her was considered, and it was considered to be too early. And there's a lot of uncertainty regarding her return, when she's going to return, when she's able to return. There's a lot of things in play here that I think people are not accounting for. Look, do we want Asuka back? Yes. Is she going to return right away? No, right? Luckily, WWE got Kairi Sane back. Obviously, Io Sky is doing big things as women's champion, but Asuka is still rehabbing. She is still trying to get healthy. She's not medically cleared. And until that happens, I think everyone needs to be a little bit more patient in regards to Asuka and her update. AEW Double or Nothing. It was a big, big show. Now, the Wrestling Observer of Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez has noted that there are a lot of banged up wrestlers in AEW coming out of this later pay-per-view event, including both the Young Bucks. I'm talking about Matt. I'm talking about Nick Jackson. Now, AEW, they are known for their in-ring being the best on the freaking planet. And I think at the end of the day, this pay-per-view showed that AEW can absolutely still deliver. But that anarchy in the arena match, it was violent, it was brutal, it was physical, and now its wrestlers are dealing with the consequences of it, including the Young Bucks. I do love the fact that they dressed up like it was 1776, considering that they are the quote-unquote founding fathers. I love that gimmick, and I hope to see it more. And I think that AEW should take the advice of some that, maybe your pay-per-view events are a little too long. Maybe not have Double or Nothing go 5.5 hours long. Mick Foley has made a very interesting reveal. He told the Wrestling Classic that he actually had a secret meeting with MJF about a retirement match last year that never came to fruition. Foley said that he loved the ideas that MJF had for them. That would have been a 6-week program leading to Foley's retirement match. Now, keep in mind that Foley had come out and talked about how he wanted to lose a lot of weight because he wanted to do one more match, and that was kind of like a motivational thing to get into better shape. This is something in which Foley has battled for years, right? And at the end of the day, he actually suffered a concussion, and he's like, you know what? I think I'm done. I think from the concussion standpoint, I think from his physical um, situation, right? He's a beat up man. He's put his body through a lot of stuff. I think they actually made the right call, and I'm glad to see that Mick Foley is not going through with this. PW Insider is reporting that the decision on who would win the Owen Hart Foundation tournament final between Will Ospreay and Hangman Page at Double or Nothing wasn't finalized until hours before the show. They apparently went back and forth on it quite a bit before settling on Page. Now, Fightful added that the two wrestlers themselves pushed for each other to win. AEW World Heavyweight Champion John Moxley favored Hangman Page. Ultimately, Hangman got it done, beating Will Ospreay in an absolute banger, a classic, one of the best matches you will see all year, and that says a lot, especially coming from AEW. And now Hangman Page will step into the ring with John Moxley, challenge him for the World Heavyweight title July 12th at All in Texas. It's going to be a heck of a match. I like the fact that AEW, they went with Hangman. I thought Will was the pretty obvious choice, and they opted to go into a much, much different position, and I like it. And finally, Dave Meltzer is noting that people in WWE have actually suggested that they send out an announcement before shows saying, hey, fans, please do not swear during TV shows. He later added that he does not expect that to happen. Now, this has actually happened in NXT down at the Performance Center. Not saying that it won't happen on the main roster. When WWE was on Fox with SmackDown, they had that issue where if the fans were cursing or swearing or whatever terminology you want to use, that Fox would actually mute the sound of the entire show because obviously you couldn't take out the crowd chants because, well, mics just pick up on that kind of thing. And so they got a lot of criticism in regards to, hey, we don't like you bleeping out the swearing. All right. It hurts the show. It makes the show come off weak. It's just not very good look. Now, will WWE do this in the future? I don't think so. Look, I think this is a situation in which you're going to have to deal with the muting. You're going to have to deal with the bleeping, however they handle it. I personally think the muting is a lot better than the bleeping. That's just me. I would rather just have no sound than the beep, beep, beep. Like we're not in 1997 anymore. So just leave. And honestly, the fans outside of like, holy S, you don't need to be swearing. Like, hey, newsflash, y'all. There shouldn't be F-bombs on wrestling programs. You don't need that. A lot of kids go to the show. You know, especially WWE being a PG product. I don't know. I don't think it's a very good look, but hey, WWE is going to do what WWE wants to do.